my ordinary voice.
Your voice is good enough.
My voice is trained. The chairman on this occasion, ladies and gentlemen, protocol observed. I am happy to be here for the first time in ABC, Abak Book Club, celebrating its second anniversary, which coincides with the celebration of Wole Soyinkas' 90th birthday. I actually came to listen to things about Wole Soyinkas, alongside all of the things you have been doing here. Wole Soyinkas is somebody whose name you can't miss anywhere you go to. You can't miss his name anywhere you go to in the world. I remember 1998 in Boulder, Colorado, United States of America. I was standing in front of a public library like this one, except that in that library there's a computer inbuilt to the wall that you have to tell that computer what has brought you and what you wanted. So I included the information in the computer that I wanted to see Nigerian authors in that library. And only 2 Nigerians could be found represented in that library. And this is a big library. In fact, the library is built across a river, so you can actually sit by the bridge to read. It's part of the library. And Wole Soyinkas and Chinua Achebe were the only authors in that library. And his work, the man died, and Achebe's Things Fall Apart were the only agents in that library. And in that library also you were escorted to where you could find the book. So the person who escorted me asked me, "Are you a Nigerian?" And I said, "Yes, I was." And I was very proud of myself to be a Nigerian because Wole Soyinkas and Chinua Achebe had great names in the US then. Of course, as at then, Things Fall Apart had already been translated to 50 languages of the world, as at then. And there was no other book in that library that had that impetus. I'm borrowing the word impetus from your theme today. So you could imagine me, I was almost being celebrated as Soyinka or Achebe would be if he entered that library that day. Soyinka has written a whole lot. I was expecting somebody would say something about some of his plays, so let me use the opportunity to say something about maybe 4 of his plays very briefly and take my seat. Soyinkas, I think one of the easiest to read works of his is The Lion and the Jewel. In that story, Baroka, the chief, contests for Sidi, who is the jewel, a girl, the most beautiful girl in that village, with Lakunle, the teacher. So Wole Soyinkas sets tradition against modernity, even though the concept of modernity represented by Lakunle is faulted. A very bizarre idea of modernity is propagated by Lakunle. Lakunle doesn't see anything good about bride price, and Sidi, being a traditionalist, wants her bride price to be paid before she can believe someone loves her. To Lakunle and is won by Baroka. So what's Soyinka saying there? Soyinka is a traditionalist, especially of the Ogunian heritage. He believes in Ogun, and even the key word for the celebration of his 90th birthday begins with Ogun. His God is Ogun. His belief is centered around Ogun. So he allows the king to win traditionally. In Kongi's Harvest, Soyinka criticizes, satirizes the military regime in Nigeria, using Kongi as a personality. He also reflects that knowledge, intellectuality, even modernity have all been abused by the military. And Kongi, the master who must be worshipped, to the extent that he wants to eat the new yam, which was an exclusive thing for the Oba. And if any Oba would stand between him and eating the new yam, he would eliminate them with the butt of the gun. So Oba Dandola says to the junior Obas, this is the last official dance together. Because Kogi is watching them, and the Obas are there, watching to see who will be eating the first new yam. And by force, Kogi is given the new yam to eat. That cripples the traditional system. So Soyinka is essentially saying that when dictatorship by the military is given sway to reign in the country, the abuse and desecration of traditional systems will be imminent. I have never recommended a dance of the forest. If I don't understand the word, I don't see how you will understand it. In a dance of the forest, which is supposed to be the work written to celebrate the independence of Nigeria, and the tribes in Soyinka's world include those from the dead, the living, and the unborn. The dead man and the dead woman being resurrected to take part in the gathering of the tribes. He goes back to the ancient kingdoms of Ethiopia to dig out those who had existed before him to come and take part. I am happy that in this gathering today, I don't think that there are people from the land of the dead or the unborn. But Soyinka believes that there is no celebration that can be complete without the gathering of the tribes in those of the forest. But one of the most popular works of Soyinka is Death and the King's Horseman. A certain king had died, and by tradition, the horseman must be buried along with the king to continue his service in the afterlife. I've already told you that Soyinka depicts the world of the living, the dead, and the unborn. Be buried along in a certain day with the king, including the horse and something else, a third thing I will remember. The British colonial authorities had also established domain in Oyo or in Nigeria. Permit somebody to commit ritual murder or ritual suicide, irrespective of the tradition. And every other thing is set in motion to make sure the husband dies, otherwise he will truncate existence. Except that sacrifice is performed, Soyinka projects the idea that the cyclic systems of the living, the dead, and the unborn will be interrupted or truncated. Keynes does not believe in stuff like that. And so he releases the police to arrest the husband. And he's arrested. Now, the son of the husband, the only son of the husband, had been taken by missionaries to study medicine in the UK to witness the death of his father because it was a must. But on arrival, the police arrested the father, voluntarily commits the ritual murder that his father would have died. That is the situation in Death and the King's Horseman, and it has attracted a lot of criticism. One of such scholars is Professor Hope Egaga of the University of Lagos. Egaga has gone ahead to write an adaptation of the same play as Death and the King's Horseman. Egaga titles his own Death is Not a Redeemer, and proves to the world that somebody had died to redeem everybody. No other person has to die to redeem a community. That's the argument by Hope Egaga. Then they need a medical doctor, and this would have been the first in the community to die traditionally to save a so-called cyclic life of the living, the dead, and the unborn. Meanwhile, his Ogun God is defied in that same place. The white man and his wife even put on the costume to attend a party. And the Ogun God cannot do them anything. This is very serious. It is from that perspective that I pray for Wole Soyinka. I pray for him almost every other day. Oh God, don't let this fine brain die and go to hell with his worship of Ogun. I didn't come here to raise controversies. But just like he's entitled to his opinion and entitled to mine. At least I have also read a holy God dropped it from heaven. The poem is, hell is a discovery made too late. That's the entire thing. The entire poem.